This is a new series of basic crap strategies. Episode 1, the place bet. Hey everyone, it's Mike. Welcome back to my channel. So I'm starting another series. This will be series 2 of our basic craps strategy. We're going to have 3 videos in this series as well. Episode 1 is going to talk about place bets and how to use a place bet. And again, this is going to be very basic. Episode 2, we're going to talk about field bets. How to place a field bet. Why do we use a field bet? What are the payouts in a field bet? And then episode 3 is going to be a sample strategy using place bets and field bets. And we're going to use the iron cross. And if we have enough time, we'll go into a couple different variations of the iron cross. So that's going to be our series 2. This is episode 1, place bets and how we set up place bets. So as you can see on the right hand side of my screen, I talk about how you basically want to set up a place bet. And a place bet is a bet that the dealer has to put on for you. So you will put your chips in the come area of the playing field, of the table, and tell the dealer what you want to do with those chips. And those chips will then get moved to the numbers, the box numbers, by the dealer. Okay? Now, most common tables, if you want to play at a real casino, have a minimum bet of either a $15 table or a $10 table if you're lucky to find one, or a $25 table, and then in the high limit areas they may even have higher tables. So we're going to be looking at $10 tables, $15 tables, and maybe $25 tables. Okay? Now it's important to understand the payouts of a place bet. So let me first bring up a table. Okay, so again, these are the box numbers. So if you walked up to a real casino's craps table, you would put your chips in the come area and tell the dealer what you wanted to do with those chips. Okay, so the payouts for these box numbers vary. They're different. The 4 and the 10 have the same payout. The 5 and the 9 have the same payout. And the 6 and the 8 have the same payouts. And it may sound confusing at first, but you really need to understand these basic payouts to fully understand how to put a place bet on the table. For example, very common numbers like the 6 and the 8. If you look at my table, the 6 and the 8 have a payout of $7 for every $6 that you bet. Okay, so since it is a denomination of 6 or increments of 6, you should be thinking about putting your place bets on these two numbers in increments of 6. Okay, so on the electronics tables like Crapsy, you can actually turn on your 6 and your 8 and lock it in. So then if you put a $5 bet on the 6, it actually will make it a $6 bet. It'll automatically increase the bet so that it is an increment of $6. If you want to put a $10 bet on the 6, you would click the $5 chip. You would click the place bet 2 times, 5, 10, and you'll see that it actually goes to $12. Okay, so if you look at my payout and my table over here, on a $10 table, you would put $12 on the 6 and 8 because the increments of 6. The formula for the payout is you take the size of your bet, divide it by 6, and then multiply it by 7 because the payout is 7 for every 6. Okay, so again, your $12 bet on the 6 would pay $14 if that number is rolled. Okay, so 6 and 8 need to be in increments of 6. So you notice as I'm clicking, these are all increments of 6. Okay, So if I'm at a $10 table, you would put $12 on the 6 and 8. Okay? So if you wanted to put this bet in play, you would put maybe a $25 chip in the come, ask the dealer to set you up $12 on the 6 and 8. And he would give you $1 in change, and he would put $12 on the 6, $12 on the 8. And those two bets would pay $14 if they are rolled. Okay? Let's take those down. The remaining numbers, the 4, the 5, the 9, and the 10, those can be in increments of 10 if it's a $10 table. Okay? And if you look at my chart, the formula for the 4 and the 10 is to take your $10 bet, divide it by 5, because it's a 9 for 5 payout. So you take your bet, your $10 bet, divide it by 5, that's 2, and multiply that by 9. So that would be an $18 payout. If you would hit the 4 or the 10 with a $10 bet in place, you would win $18. On the 5 and the 9, this $10 bet has a formula of 7 to 5 instead of 9 to 5. So take your $10 bet, divide it by 5, you get 2. 2 times 7 is 14. So these $10 bets would win $14. Okay? Now, if you want the formulas, these are the formulas. Okay? So we just talked about the 5 and 9. You take your bet size, which is $10, divide it by 5, which is 2, multiply it by 7. On the 4 and the 10, you take your bet size, you divide it by 5, which is 2, you multiply it by 9, it's 18. And then on your 6 and 8, you take your bet size, which on a $10 table should be 12, divide it by 6, which is 2. 2 times 7 is 14. Okay? So a little bit down here below, I've got the common bet sizes and the payouts. So a $10 bet on the 4 would pay 18. A $10 bet on the 5 would pay 14. The $10 bet on the 6 is actually a $12 bet. It pays 14. And a $10 bet on the 8, which would really be 12, would pay 14. Okay? If we go to a $15 table, take the same formulas for a 4. Okay? On a $15 table, 15 divided by 5 is 3. 3 times 9 is 27. Okay? That's how we get 27 here on a $15 table. Okay? The 6 and the 8, your $15 bet should be 18. You want them in increments of 6. Okay? And for a 6 and 8, you take that 18, divide it by 6, which is 3, multiply it by 7. That's how you get 21 here. On the $25 bet, it's the same formulas. Okay? A $25 bet on the 4 and the 10, 25 divided by 5 is 5. 5 times 9 is 45. On the 5, it's 7 for 5. So you take your $25 bet, divide it by 5, you get 5. 5 times 7 is 35. Okay? $25 bet on the 6 and 8, you should bump that up to 30 to make it an increment of 6. So it's a $30 bet, divided by 6 is 5. 5 times 7 is 35. Okay? Some of the common nomenclature, some of the common commands that you will hear at the poker table is you will hear a player put money in the come and say, dealer, I would like 44 inside. And he might put $50 in the come. The dealer would give him $6 and change, and he would take that $44 and he would set up $10 on the inside. Okay? In Crapsy and then on your electronics games, it'll calculate it all for you. So $10 on the inside or 44 inside is $10 on the inside numbers, but you need to make your 6 and your 8 in an increment of 6, so you bump those up to 12. We call that capping. Okay? So you'll hear this commonly referred to as $10 inside, cap the 6 and 8 to 12. And that equals $44 bet. You'll also very commonly hear 66 inside, which is just a $15 bet inside. Cap your 6 and 8 to 18 to make it divisible by 6, and that's a total bet of 66. And then you'll also see a lot of strategies where once you get to a certain point in your strategy, you will then be able to set up 110 inside. And a 110 inside is nothing more than 25 on the inside numbers. Cap your 6 and your 8 to 30. They have to be divisible by 6, and you have $110 in bets. So that's very common betting structures that you will hear. You'll hear bet on the inside, bet me or place me 44 inside. Inside is the 5, the 6, the 8, and the 9. If you hear them say place me $20 on the outside, $20 would be on the 4, the 5, the 9, and the 10. Okay? I need to change this. It's the 4, 5, 9, and 10. Okay? So these are some of the common verbiage that you'll hear at the table. On a bubble craps machine or crapsy, you can just take everything down. You have to place your own bets. You don't have the ability to put bets in the cum and then tell the machine to place them for you. You would place these yourself. So if you wanted 44 inside, you would click on the $5 chip. You'd go inside, 2 clicks. You're on 44 inside, and it sets you up with a $10 across, or I'm sorry, $10 inside. Cap the 6 and the 8 to 12. Okay? So that's the nomenclature. If you want to go to a table or on Crapsy and just play some place bets, okay? Place bets can be placed at any time, whether the puck is on or off, and you can also specify to the dealer if you want your bets working or not working. The puck is off. By default, when the puck is off, these bets are off. But you can tell the dealer you want them on. And he will put a little marker on your bet saying that these bets are on. Okay? Just remember though, when those bets are on, if a 7 is rolled, a 7 wins on the come out for anyone who has a place bet. But if you've got these bets on and you roll a 7, or the dealer rolls a 7, you will lose these bets. So a lot of time, not always, but a lot of time, players will wait till the puck is moved to a point and a point is established, and then they will ask the dealer to set them up on place bets. So very common, let the dealer set a point. There's a 10. So the puck will move to the 10. So now we have a point established. Let's get this thing set up in turbo mode. And let's get all these off. I think we're okay now. So now we have a point. The point's a 10. Now you'll say, dealer, you'll put $50 in the cum and say, set me up 44 inside. The dealer will give you $6 change. And he'll set you up to look like a 10 on the inside. Cap the 6 and 8 to 12. You now have $44 in bets. Because the puck is on, these bets are on by default, so you don't have to see the word on or off on them. It's just a given that when the puck is on, these bets are on. Okay? Now, if we would roll a inside number, if we would roll a 5, a 6, an 8, or a 9, we would get paid based on the formula of the number that you roll. So we will either get paid $14 on the 6 and we'll get paid $14 on these inside bets. All these bets will get paid $14. So the 5, the 6, the 8, and the 9 are all $14. The only time we would win more is if we put bets on the 4 and the 10. Which brings me to my next point. A lot of strategies like to start off with inside bets, and after they get 1 or 2 hits and collect some money, they will then take that winning and then get the 4 and the 10 placed. Very common strategy. If we rolled a number now and got an inside number, there's an 8. The 8 pays 14. Okay. Now if I want to put $10 bet on the 4 and the 10, I would need $20. Okay. So I could take my $14 winnings and then take another $6 out of my rack, because I have $500 in my bankroll, and go ahead and put $10 on the 4 and the 10. Okay. Now what you see here is I have place bets across all the box numbers. Okay. So that's place betting. How we set up place bets, either on Crapsy or Bubble Craps, or at the table. We use the come area to put your chips in. Tell the dealer what you want. The dealer will set you up, give you change if you need. Common bets are 44 inside, 66 inside, and 110 inside. And a lot of strategies that you're going to learn will be based off of those inside bets or some other bet that will eventually get you to an inside bet. Other inside bets like to take their winnings and get the 4 and the 10 placed so that you now have bets across all your box numbers. You're trying to avoid those dead rolls when like if you've only got the inside numbers placed and you roll a 4 and a 10, you don't win anything. You don't lose anything, but you don't win anything. Okay? Also, the 2, the 3, the 11, and the 12. If those rolled, you don't win anything. You've only got 4 bets in place right now. And those are the 4 inside bets. Okay? So, those are common terminology for setting up a place bet. I'm going to leave it here for now. This will be the end of the episode number 1, place betting. The next episode, we're going to talk about the field bet. And we'll explain that. And then once that episode is over, the 3rd episode will be a strategy that we're going to play that uses place bets and field bets. And if you're not already familiar with a strategy that does that, we're going to play the strategy called the Iron Cross. Okay? So that's going to do it for today. Hope everyone's having a great day. And as always, thanks for watching.